Well, what's going on YouTube? My name is Andrew Huang for LPX Tech, and here is another tech review. Now, a lot of you lately have been asking me whether or not I'll be finally reviewing the Samsung Galaxy S7 or if I ever be upgrading to it, because if you've been following my last video, I broke my Note 4 again. Literally right after I replaced the screen, I dropped it onto the concrete and it cracked, and I had to wait another week for a new screen replacement. And with that said, I cannot go for more than a day without my phone, not because of my personal reasons, but because I have to run a business through my phone, because that's what I normally do. Thankfully, my sister, who's under my family plan, still was due for an upgrade, so I went ahead, got her the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, because she's due for an upgrade, because she's still rocking the old Note 3, so this is sort of like my gift to her. But before sending it, I used it for about a week and a half to give you guys this review. Now, if you guys are looking for performance reviews, technical specs, comparisons to other devices, there are plenty of other channels that have done those reviews for you guys that you can go ahead and check out. My reviews tend to focus on the everyday usage and what I personally feel about the device. So before I blabber on about the things I like about the device, for those of you who are looking for a quick answer, get it. If you're due for an upgrade, if your phone's broken, you can afford to get a new phone, get the S7 or the Edge, because they're both phenomenal devices, and you're just about to hear me pretty much just fanboy out about this phone. Now guys, I know a week and a half is not a proper length of time to really own a device to see all the pros and cons about it, but during that time period, I essentially compared it to the old S6 Edge, which came out last year, and you can see my reviews on it last year. And what I loved about this phone is that it addressed pretty much everything that I didn't like about the S6 Edge. So things like the expandable memory. You can now put SD cards back in. Thank you, Samsung, for listening to us. Performance was improved even further, because what I liked about the S6 Edge last year was it improved the VR capabilities from the old Note 4, so you can use it for slightly longer periods of time. But it wasn't endless, because let's say it doubled the time usage from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. It still overheated after a while, and you had to let it cool down. This device definitely addresses that. So by showing me that it can run the VR apps for a significantly longer period of time, shows me that the overall performance of this phone is good. Another major improvement that they did on this phone was battery life, because that's one thing that really worried me, because I don't really tend to charge my phone throughout the day because I'm always moving around and I tend to leave it in my pocket. Now my Note 4, recently the battery started dying on me, but I just replaced it with a brand new one and it's been doing great. And with the help of my smartwatch, and this is another point that I'll talk about in a bit, the phone was able to last throughout the day. Now on the other hand, my wife, who had the S6 Edge, the battery kept dying on her. She has to always constantly put it on charge, whether we're on the go or we go somewhere, because even while it idles, it drains a lot of power. And I can confidently tell you guys that the S7 Edge really, and probably the S7 as well, the battery life really impressed me, because the phone comfortably lasts throughout the entire day. And my daily usage is not like other people. So a lot of you who like to constantly play games on it, watch videos, stream movies, use the VR constantly, is going to use a lot of its power. But for everyday people who just need it for communication, sometimes going on social media, play your apps here and there, it lasted just fine. It really impressed me with that, because it actually outperformed my Note 4. And so after about a full day of usage, and I get up around 7 in the morning, I come back around 2 a.m. at night, it still had about 30% power left, and I was really impressed with that. And like I mentioned before, the smartwatches do help. And if you watch my older videos on the smartwatches, they're a nice extension of your phone, because you don't have to constantly take out your phone to always look at the notifications, see all the, read all the text and emails and stuff. You can go ahead and filter it using your watch, and the phone can just stay right in your pocket, not taking too much power. Now, another major thing that they added and that they've been pretty much advertising like crazy is the water resistancy. Now, I'm gonna go out and say this thing is not meant to be thrown into a pool or go diving with, or literally just lay in the puddle all day with it. But they added that extra layer of sealing, so in case you go wash your hands, drop it in the sink, drop it in the toilet for some stupid reason, or you're using it in the bathtub and you drop it in the bathtub. as soon as you take it out right away, it should be okay. It's not 100% guaranteed, but the fact that they went out of their way to add that extra layer really excited me, because these phones in general are pretty fragile. If you guys remember phones back even 10 years ago, or let's say a little bit more than that, the phones used to be a lot more durable. Screens didn't crack as easy. The phones you could drop over and over, they'd be fine. Some water gets on them, they'd be okay. Obviously they weren't water resistant. If you dropped it into a pool, it'd be done. But I remember phones being a lot more durable before the iPhone 6, and ever since then the phones have just become like these cases. These giant OtterBox cases and other LifeProof cases and stuff have become a necessity for everyone, because everyone drops their phone. People get water on them, they spill things on them, and it's expensive to replace these devices. So them taking that extra step to start showing us that they're gonna go ahead and put some protective measures really excites me, because this is just the beginning. Because as the computer chips, as the processors, the RAMs, hard drives, everything gets smaller and smaller and more efficient, that leaves more space for them to add extra protective layers. So where they go from here, you know, I don't know, but I'm really excited to see what the next steps for Samsung and the other companies are going to be. And let me go ahead and compliment the Edge screen again, because last year the one thing I loved about the S6 Edge was the Edge screen and how it felt. And it's a very minor thing. It's nothing major. It may not make or break deal for a lot of people, but I loved it just because the scrolling action going side to side is so much more natural than the harsh edges on a normal phone. Now, they're not really that harsh, but you get what I mean after trying out the device. And I can't really describe it, but just the feeling of it, the usage of it, and plus they also add functionality to it too, which really does help. All I can say is go try for yourself. There are definitely local electronic stores or cell phone shops that you can go to play around with it, and you'll get it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a little bit harsh or it's a little bit weird. But once you get the hang of it and you start using it, it's very subtle. And you can't really, I mean, you can go back to a normal phone, but like me, after having for a week and a half and I gave it back, you know, mailed it out to my sister and went back to my Note 4, I was like, aw. You know, the same thing happened last year when I gave the S6 Edge back to my wife. And it was just like, it was something so minor that I really liked. And this phone is pretty much, that statement really encompasses this phone. All the improvements that they made to it, camera, performance, screen, OS, interface, the Edge screen, the expandable memory, the battery life, everything, they're all minor upgrades. But because they addressed so many minor issues, the phone felt awesome overall. And that's pretty much the overall consensus of my review on the device. It's just, it's not perfect, because no device will be perfect. There's always gonna be room for growth and everything. But for now, I feel like this device is pretty much perfect for almost everyone. That might be a bold statement. That's my personal opinion. Whether or not you disagree with me, you can go right ahead. But a lot of these other companies have really started to optimize their phones. Their design language, performance, what they could do with it, it's starting to hit a plateau where you're never gonna see extraordinary differences anymore, because the current design is limited in what it can do. And I've said this in my other videos, you know, the next step of telecommunications and just interfaces, we don't know yet. People like me are hoping for things like augmented reality, where it'll be integrated right into our glasses or contact lens, and it'll just be seamless to use it all. A lot of you are scared about that, but I'm one of the people that are really going to embrace it, just because that is really going to leapfrog our technology and take us as a society to a new level. But that's a whole different topic, a whole nother conversation. But I feel like a lot of these companies are really starting to step up their game, hopefully. And this is a different tone for me from last year, where I complained about how a lot of these companies weren't really pushing the design language, pushing the technology as far as they used to. And I'm glad to see that I'm being proven wrong. And I'm really excited to see what Samsung does with the Note 6 and their other devices in the coming future. Hey guys, thank you for watching that video. I know the videos have been coming out pretty slow these days, but I'm doing my best to at least give you guys one video a week. We're still settling down in my store. As you can see, I've finished renovations and I'm working on my new office for LPX Studios very soon. So once we get that rolling, videos are gonna be coming out much more frequently, as well as the other channels are gonna start to get some love. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. Even though I might not be able to get back to them right away or ever, if I do see a general trend of questions, I'll go ahead and make a video like I did today for this one. And on top of that, if you did like this style of video, please let me know by leaving a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button to support my channel, as well as to check out all the videos I've done in the past and in the future. So until then, if you want to check out the video I did last week, it's right over here. And it's about my renovations to the store. So check it out. That much! That much over there! There's just literally IKEA exploded everywhere. This is all of our tables, desks, storage, everything. There's more there too.